News Talk 98.9, the roar of Memphis. Tool Talk Radio with Joe and Allan.
Welcome to Tool Talk Radio, coming to you from the Brown Refrigeration Studios. I'm Joe Thorderson with Thor's Hammer, Carpentry and Wood Turning.
I'm Allan Gilbreth, darkoakmedia.com.
And I'm Maximilian, and I want to wish all my fellow geeks out there a very, very happy Batman Day.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I don't know why I thought it was yesterday, Max, but is it exactly today?
Yes, I believe so. And not only that, but like in select cities like Washington, D.C. and Tokyo, they're actually going to blare the bat signal.
Oh, no. Yeah, you know, I mean, Allan, this is a pretty major holiday.
I saw that on the news and just went, oh, no.
Oh, yeah. You know, I don't know why I always forget. I know it's in September, but, well, this goes to the front of the line, obviously, here. Hey, if we sound a little different and if you hear some background ambiance, it's because we're here once again. Allan, this is our third time broadcasting from the Cooper Young Festival. You could not have ordered better weather. It is absolutely beautiful out here. Lots of activity. We're right at the corner of Cooper and Young. I don't know, about 10 feet from that gazebo. That's kind of my landmark here. So if you're getting out here today, we hope you'll drop by the booth later. Don't talk to us while we're trying to do the show, though. It gets very confusing.
Joe gets confused.
And but stop by. We'd love to see you. And Allan's even brought the swag, right?
Oh, yeah. Of course we did.
So if you want to weigh in, if you want to get in touch today, and if you especially want to comment on how you're celebrating Batman Day, especially like Jay Hill. I wonder what he's doing for Batman Day.
Does he have a bat signal?
Exactly. You can call or text us at the Big M Roofing and Remodeling Hotline at 901-683-0989. Today, I would normally invite you to watch the show on the Royal Retreat studio cams, but they're back at the studio. It was a little tricky trying to hook those up today, Allan.
Yeah. Well, anytime you go out live, you have to be prepared for the unexpected.
Yeah, and we weren't ready for that. So also, you can scoot on over to the Tool Talk Radio Facebook page. I haven't posted anything yet, Allan, because I'm preserving electricity. We're having a few electrical dramas down here today, but I think we're good to go. I don't think we're going to be disconnected.
I think we'll be good. Okay,
and a little later in the show, I'm really excited about this. We're going to be welcoming a couple of guests from. We've told you that we're partnered up. The Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention is partnered up with all of the Cumulus stations, and some businesses are promoting their business there and on Tool Talk Radio. And one of them is Brussel's Bonsai, America's largest bonsai nursery, and they really are. This place is gigantic. So we've got Terra Miller, who's the general manager, and Terry Stamps, who's the production manager. They're going to drop by a little later. We're going to talk bonsai, Allan. And also, they're going to be doing workshops and things at the convention, which is going to be a lot of fun. Bonsais are cool. Max, you own one, right?
His name is Soshiro.
Yeah, of course. Max names everything. He names his car.
I have numerous. So.
Okay. Hey, I also want to throw this out there. We're going to keep this out on the table. If in terms of listener interaction, if we talked about last week. What is that item on your honey-do list that you just have never you can't get to it because you just procrastinate? It seems daunting. You don't want to do it. Let us know what that is. Maybe we can talk you down, or maybe give you some encouragement about how it may not be as scary as you think. So, Allan, I hope we get to our must-have item of the week because we didn't get to it last week. We might carry that over. Also, in Allan's Week in Review, the outdoor libation station that you've been working on is progressing. It's progressing well, right?
Oh, it's going fabulous.
A little later, we're resurrecting our Tool Talk Radio quick tips. Although this isn't going to be so quick, I think we're going to get a little mileage out of this. Allan, this week, oh my gosh, was the weather nice! I was out there building a deck, which is one of my favorite activities. It's just fun. I was in the shade almost the whole day. The weather was perfect, and it occurred to me that there's some pretty cool deck tips that I've learned, or I guess just deck, techniques that I've learned just over the years of doing them, and I want to try to pass some of those along.
Okay.
And of course, like we said, we'd love to hear from you on the Big M Roofing and Remodeling Hotline. You can call or text us at 901-683-0989. Allan, it's nice to be out here again, man. This is our third year.
It is absolutely beautiful. Somebody somebody made the weather deities very, very happy for us this year.
Yeah,
So,
because I remember a couple years ago we were out, and I mean it was raining.
cold,
it was like
wet. Oh, it was
electrical
amazing.
threats, everything like that. That was no fun. So, but we would love for you to drop by, come say hello to us over. Like I said, we're right at the corner of Cooper and Young. So, hey Alan, let's start. I hope we have enough time. I don't have the clock in front of me, so
That's all right.
I think why don't we start at least? Let's hear about your weekend review. Sorry, Max, I didn't prepare you for this. So, let's. What's going on with the outdoor libation station?
Oh, the humanity.
And if you just had your ears blown out, and you're new to Tool Talk Radio, I should explain that Allan. We always like to check in and see what Allan's up to because we never know. He's got a wide-ranging skill set and a wide-ranging set of duties, and so it's always kind of a mixed bag. But this project seems like you've been on this for quite a while, right? At least 3 or 4 weeks. So.
Well, yeah, this is one of those just one day a week kind of projects. Actually, I had 2 major projects this week, but project 1 was indeed the libation station. And this week we went in and added some decorative trim to firm up the back decoration. The back decoration fundamentally is 3 floor mats mounted in at a decorative distance from each other across the back. So it breaks up the sun and the wind a little bit.
It
But
looks
they-
better than what you're describing, too. I mean, it looks cool. So.
Yeah, when you say we hung some floor mats up, everything else goes up. And we're talking about the very decorative fatigue mats with the really cool patterns in them.
Yeah, they're mostly hollow.
Which are mostly air. They're mostly cut through.
Yeah.
And so when you hang them up, they make a wonderful floral pattern, and it looks really quite amazing. The problem we didn't like about it was that they weren't really firm.
Well,
They
they're
have a
going to
little-
flop
a
around,
little
right?
wiggly.
Yeah.
So we went back in this week, and we added a couple of cross pieces and sandwiched them together and firmed up the entire back.
Right.
So honestly, it was 4 little boards, but it made all the difference in the world to the stability and longevity of the project.
What I like is the approach here because I'm a big fan of taking an item and it's not just one use. I love walking into the big box store and saying, you know what, I know this is a pipe, but actually if you turn it on its side, it's a such and such or whatever. And this mat was basically a mat, and when you held it up vertically, you're like, wait a minute, this actually looks pretty cool, especially when the sun's coming through it. And
Oh, yeah.
it looks good. As much as I hate to give you credit, Alan, I have to say it was a
thing
very interesting
Turned out
multi-use.
fabulous.
Awesome. So, well, hey, we're here at the Cooper Young Festival, right at the corner of Cooper and Young. We hope you'll come down and say hello, but stay tuned. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Tool Talk Radio with Joe and Allan.
I've got one single nail and another nail to nail it in with. And I'm gonna stop this infernal ice cream machine once and for all.
News Talk 98.9, the roar of Memphis.
I don't know what Max has against ice cream machines. I mean, I know you're lactose intolerant or something.
That's exactly what it
Max,
is.
But, I mean, let's. It brings a lot of joy to most people. So
I don't care.
Anyway, welcome back to Tool Talk Radio, coming to you from the Brown Refrigeration Studios. I'm Joe Thorderson with Thor's Hammer, Carpentry and Wood Turning, here with my buddy Alan Gilbreth from darkoakmedia.com and our pal Max over there behind the glass. You can call or text us at the Big M Roofing and Remodeling Hotline at 901-683-0989. We also invite you to go over to Facebook. I haven't posted anything yet, Alan, because I'm trying to conserve my battery power. And normally we would invite you to go to the News Talk 98.9 The Roar Facebook page and watch the show on the Royal Retreat studio cams. But we really can't do that today, Alan. The cams are back at they're back at the studio. So, what are you going to do? But
We can watch Max put his shoes up on the desk.
yeah, I feel like Max is probably really living it up back there. But anyway, we are here again at the, I don't know what annual Cooper Young Festival this is. I lost track of what number this is, but, man, you could not ask for better weather. It is, I mean, what is it? It's sunny. It's
70.
clear, 70 something.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's really nice, and we hope that you'll drop by here and check it out. Try to not talk while we're here on the
On the air.
It gets really confusing, but Allan's going to be bringing out the swag later, which is always fun. We got lots of Tool Talk Radio swag, and apparently, I don't know, Allan. There's a lot of interesting things going on over here. Later in the show, we're going to have our friends from Brussels Bonsai drop in. We've got Terra Miller, the general manager, and Terry Stamps. He's the production manager.
Okay.
Yeah, they're dropping in, and I know you're a bonsai man.
I am. I've done bonsais for, good Lord, I have to admit, to over 45 years.
Really? Huh, okay.
Yep.
All right, so we're going to talk about that. We've got quite a bit to get to. So, but Allan, I wanted to discuss something, and it's funny because sometimes I don't know, the weather really can dictate your mood, can it?
Okay.
Don't you think? I mean, it's this week it was just such an enjoyable week. I'm doing a little side project. I told you that I've got this larger job that I'm going to be starting in about a week or two, but to fill in the time, I'm building a deck for somebody over in East Memphis. Well, for one thing, the job's 5 minutes from my house. Which
that's nice.
You can't beat that. But it's basic. It's pretty straightforward. It's a wraparound deck. I will post pictures once we get some electricity over here. But it got me thinking. Just over the years of building decks, I know a lot of people. It's a great addition to your home. It's a nice. It's a manageable project for most people, I think. But I've learned some techniques that really have helped me a lot, and one of them I wanted to discuss. I don't know if this is trademarked or not, Allan. I'm calling this the floating frame technique.
Okay.
Have you ever? So folks, if you're thinking of building a deck, this is just something. You're going to watch probably a bunch of YouTube videos. This is the difference. I think with what I'm talking about is the difference between setting the posts first or setting them after the fact.
Okay.
Why are you saying okay so much?
I'm just waiting to see which direction you go, because I just built a deck and porch for a house about 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
And this one was the traditional post hole diggers. We're putting the post in. We're getting the concrete set. We're coming back in a few days. And we knocked out a full deck, complete with roof, in just a few hours.
Well, here's what I'm thinking. Now, okay, let me make a caveat here. I'm building this deck over uneven ground. The ground goes up and down. There's going to be a little bit of grading that's going to have to be done. And it connects on, actually, it wraps around a sunroom. So it connects onto 4 different walls. Maybe 5, actually, now that I'm thinking of it. So the reason I like the floating, and I'll explain what that is in a second, folks. So basically, what I do is you establish that, you attach to the house with I'm using 2x8s for my frame. You get it level, you attach it securely to the home, and then you start working off of those lines. And as long as you keep it level, it's a pretty straightforward thing.
Yes.
But what I do is, instead of digging the post holes first and then attaching my frame to it, I more or less build the frame as I go, and as I'm building it, I support it with temporary supports.
Okay.
The reason I do that is because, as we've seen sometimes, designs can change, or elevations can change, or whatever, or you say, you know what, I don't want to put the post there. And plus, to me, it requires less math. Basically, what I do is I get the frame built with a bunch of temporary supports once, and it allows you to shift it if you have to move if the deck isn't completely square. Because, there's nothing worse than building a deck, and then you start putting the deck boards down, and they don't line up squarely. So this is way more forgiving. And of course, I always use screws, so they're removable and they're stronger. But I like the floating method because like I said, it's more forgiving, and it allows for it allows for like design changes or surprises, basically. So because you may have to lift one up, or you may have to scoot it over. There's you don't want to have to move it 3 inches after it's in a post hole. But have you ever tried anything like that? Or some people like a combination approach, I suppose.
I have done. Let's say I built one last year where we used the concrete footers.
Yeah.
Because of the nature of the ground this was going to go in, they didn't want to set the post.
Right.
So we ended up using the concrete post foots, and we're doing 4x4s.
Right.
So we went in and set all that up, and basically that gave us a free floating frame the entire project. and it wasn't really firmed up until the end of it when we went back and put in the lag bolts.
Right.
So, and of course, I didn't want to put in the lag bolts at the very beginning of this because of exactly what you just said. They weren't sure where the stairs were going to go.
Right.
And that makes a huge difference to your deck because you've got to, just because you got the stairs, in that perfect position, did you put enough support for all of that additional weight that as those stairs are going to hit you and move stuff?
Stairs, especially. Remember we talked about that a couple of weeks. And I'm gonna basically because I've got an entire this is going to be one where it's off the back of the deck. It's about a 25-foot run, and it's going to be a step off of that. So that's what I mean. Yeah, uneven terrain. I need lots. So
you
of
got a little staggered area there. So yeah, I've done that before, but I've done it with the concrete footers and a temporary post, and we just put the put a nice 4-inch screw through it to make sure everything holds.
Right.
But that's not the actual weight holding device that the final deck is going to be sitting on.
And if you have a deck where you're building over, you might have a concrete patio that you're going over. That's when, especially those concrete footers are great because you can adjust it on the fly, and there's no reason to try to dig through that. That's silly. Just sit right on top.
Well, the cool thing about the kind of the small floating deck we did like that was we were able to move the deck over a couple of feet, dig a hole, and actually plant, do a footer.
Right.
And put the concrete base on it so everything was nice and level, and we didn't have to trust dirt to keep the deck level over the years.
Right.
Because dirt, and I know everybody looks at their yard and they think the yard never moves.
Oh, who thinks that?
The yard creeps everywhere. That thing moves all over the place.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's the other thing is I was thinking about it because sometimes. Well, I was just thinking about how little math I had to do on this deck project, and it's mostly just because of this floating method, but also because leaving flexibility in there instead of having to do all the calculations in advance. Like for example, when I'm hanging the rafters, this would be really better if we had a video, Alan. It's hard to say, but
yeah. Well,
when you set the rafter, I don't know. I think what we'll do is maybe we'll post some pictures later.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, we would love to know if you've ever tackled a deck and if you've had any deck horror stories or deck successes. Because, once it's done, there's some. If it's built correctly and it's just these homeowners are so excited about this, they just can't wait to get out. They're already lining up where the barbecue grill's going to go and everything.
Well, the big thing about adding a deck to your home is it is a relatively inexpensive way of adding a lot of yard appeal, curb appeal, of a lot of pop to your property,
right?
Without spending, HGTV money,
right.
That's the best way to say it.
And anyway, so the other thing I was going to say real quickly is I encountered a homeowner that had a deck that they said, can you help me refinish this thing? It's peeling, it's falling apart. And once again, my feelings about this. This deck that I'm building is not getting one bit of stain. It's not getting anything. Because I let the wood be the wood. Man, I felt sorry for this other homeowner because it's a losing proposition. This thing, once it's painted, once it's peeling.
Well, when we come back, let's talk about what is actually happening when you do that.
Absolutely.
Because a lot is going on with that wood.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but anyway, you're listening to Tool Talk Radio. We're here at Cooper Young. Oh, what do we got? A minute?
We got 1 minute. Yeah.
Sorry, I don't have a clock in front of me.
I know. You're just. Joe is so distracted because somebody just walked by with a funnel cake.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here, but we are here at we're at the Cooper Young Festival. We're at the corner of Cooper and Young. It's always fun watching all these artists set up and everything, and there is some great art. I would have to say, in terms of an arts and crafts festival, this is almost second to none. We have some great ones here in town, but this is one of my favorites. There's the guy over there that's got the real quirky thing. He takes recycled refrigerator parts and he makes artwork out of it and things like that. So it's a lot of fun. Come visit us. Come say hello, and we'll check it out. So, but anyway, you're listening to Tool Talk Radio. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Tool Talk Radio with Joe and Allan.
Okay, you know what? Shut up.
News Talk 98.9, the roar of Memphis.
Yeah.
I totally hate to admit that was me 5 times this week.
Oh, yeah. I know exactly what you're saying, Alan. And welcome back to Tool Talk Radio, coming to you from the Brown Refrigeration Studios. I'm Joe Thorderson with Thor's Hammer, Carpentry and Wood Turning, here with my buddy Allan Gilbreth from darkoakmedia.com and our pal Max over there behind the glass. You can call or text us at the Big M Roofing and Remodeling Hotline at 901-683-0989. We also would normally, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to encourage you to watch an encore episode of Tool Talk Radio on the Royal Retreat studio cams. If you go to the News Talk 98.9 The Roar Facebook page, just scroll back to last week or something. We don't have the cameras here because if you can hear in the background, we are here at the I forget what annual, but we're at the Cooper Young Festival. We're right at the corner of Cooper and Young. There's a lot of activity. The vendors are getting set up. I'd say most of them are pretty set up, but people are coming and going, and this is one of my favorite festivals of the year.
It is.
I love it out here.
Here.
And you could not have gotten better weather. Sometimes the weather doesn't cooperate. I hate to say it, but today it is absolutely perfect. So we hope that you'll come on out and join us later. Once the show's over, Alan's going to pull out all of the Tool Talk Radio swag.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
It's going to be good. We're promoting quite a few things around here, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Among those, later in the show, we've got a couple of guests. They're actually sponsors of the Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention. We've got Terra Miller, the general manager from Brussel's Bonsai over in Olive Branch, and Terry Stamps, who's the production manager. So they're going to join us later in the show. That's going to be cool, Alan. Bonsais are awesome.
How apropos that her name should be Terra.
I asked her if she changed her name because of her job, but no, I think Terra's her actual name. She just sort of fell into it, but I kind of thought that was funny myself, Max. So we also want you to be aware that today is International Batman Day, and boy, I can't wait to celebrate, Alan.
Is Memphis going to get the bat signal?
I think no, I don't think so. I mean, unfortunately,
we already are Gotham City without all the bat signals.
And you talk about architecture and great, design and everything. Gotham City, what an iconic city. So, and don't roll your eyes at me, Alan. But if you're celebrating International Batman Day, we would love to hear from you. At least let us know what you're thinking. Maybe you've got a bat cave. I know we have man caves at the house. Maybe you got a bat cave at your house. So
right. That I would have.
Okay. Hey, in a minute, we're going to get to our must-have item of the week. Before we do that, who probably I would guarantee is celebrating International Batman Day in a big way is our good buddy Larry Brown with Brown Refrigeration. I don't know if he even knows I don't know if he even knows. His Batman references stop at Adam West, I think. Yeah. So either way, though, you know why? You know what that is, though, Alan? Because he is so laser-focused on providing the best HVAC service in the Mid-South. So let's face it.
Working with him last night, as a matter of fact. Yes.
Yeah. We'll forgive him for that. But if your HVAC system is really, it's the heart and soul of your home. It is definitely the most important feature of the interior of your home. I mean, no question about it. You need an HVAC system that's running properly, that's running efficiently with the latest technology, including the latest in clean air technology. It's not just about conditioning the air. It's also about basically making the air cleaner in your home. Which they do with the Remy Halo system. They work with the Train dealership. They always work with the latest technology, and also it's a relationship that you need. You have a relationship with your HVAC company. Because this unit requires regular maintenance, not scary maintenance, more of what we would call preventative maintenance. So you want to visit with Brown Refrigeration maybe once or twice a year just to make sure everything's running at peak efficiency. And that's why you want a company that is rock solid, that's been there forever, and is always up on the latest technology. So get in touch with the good people at Brown Refrigeration. You can call them directly at 362-1881 or go to the very easy to remember website, brownref.com. All right, Max, let's get to our must-have item of the week. Allan, this may turn into a contretemps because I know you and I don't see eye to eye on this next item, but tell people what I would be holding up if they could see it in the camera.
You would be proudly holding up a little tub of what is called color-changing spackle.
And here we go. So, yeah, folks, I'm sure you've seen this. If you go to the big box store, there's joint compound spackle. I still don't really know what the official word is because some people call it spackle. You call it mud. That's
no,
that's
they are
the
not
trade.
the same thing.
No, I know. That's what I mean. But it's like depending on what it is. If you send, let's put it this way: if you're a sheetrock guy and you send the new employee to the store to go pick up a gallon of mud, you don't know what you might get, or a gallon of spackle, or a joint compound.
There's going to be a lost child.
Right.
All right.
But
we are talking about the wonderful world of either sheetrocking or light-duty home repair.
Right. Yeah.
And spackle is in the full category of light-duty home repair. I have a small screw hole or nail hole that needs to be filled, and I will give a color-changing spackle some credit.
Okay.
This is a really cool chemical idea that while it's wet, it's pink or blue or whatever color the manufacturer.
Usually pink. Yeah.
Usually pink, and you basically rub this or putty knife it into your small hole in repair.
Yeah.
And when you get that in there, once it goes in, it will change colors when it's dry enough to be sanded and painted over.
Yeah, it goes on pink, and what I like, I like it for several reasons. For one thing, it's really fun. If you take one thing I did early on, because I like to keep our homeowners, if I'm working for somebody, I like to keep them, loose and having fun or whatever. So what I like to do is you patch a big area with the color-changing pink spackle, and you go, now I hope you like it. I took some artistic liberties here, and you more or less let them think that's going to be the final color. I hope you don't mind this giant pink spot on your whole wall, which usually wakes them up, and they, that gets an interesting discussion. But I like it, Allan, because there are times when it has to, you need it to be dry before you can prime or paint it, and sometimes you can't tell when it's dry, and the pink spackle, it's kind of foolproof. However, I will say this. There are times, if you're not careful, have you ever done this, where you prime something or of the pink spackle, and it reactivates the color, and it turns it pink underneath? Oh, yeah. Why does it do that? Is that because it's not fully...
You got a moisture in it.
Right.
And, the chemical process, dun-dun-dun, here we go, we're back. And which brings up a thing about joint compound, mud, and different time ratings.
Right.
Because a lot of people don't understand that these things have different ideas. So when you go to your big box store, your hardware store, and when we say we're looking for mud, we're looking for joint compound.
Right.
And this is the stuff that we use to make the joints between your sheetrock panels disappear and give you a beautiful flat wall.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the pre-mix mud, the thing that you see, honestly, pallets of, is a drying compound. When oxygen gets to it, it begins its chemical process, and it's slow.
Right.
It's about 24 hours, and if you put it on too thick, it's probably going to crack. And, so there's lots to it, and it's really for people like me and you. We're doing big repairs, or we're doing installs.
Right.
Then you get into your timed muds. And these are like, you'll see a 30-minute joint compound, a 20-minute joint compound. Now, these are set up more like cement or concrete. They actually have a chemical process that begins the minute you mix it with water.
Right.
And let me tell you, when that 10-minute joint compound says 10 minutes,
you have 5.
It does not mean go take a break.
Yeah.
It means get it up there, get it done, and be ready. Because it's not going to be dry, but that chemical hardening process is going to be in full force.
Now,
and you're going to have a box of rock in just no time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Now, I guess we're having this is a little bit more of an expanded conversation, but you kind of triggered me on something. One there's one type of spackle, and it's not my favorite. It's what is it called? It's like it's super light, and they claim it is ultra quick drying and
Yes.
ultra strong and whatever.
Yes.
And don't even waste your time on
It
that
is
stuff.
the ultralight, which is basically
It's-
like putting
it's-
light chalk in a hole.
I've never had good results with
Well,
it. I tried it a few times. I can't stand that stuff. It's useless to me. It almost feels like cream that you put on top of a cake or something. Like a
It's got that chiffon kind of thing going on with it, and and just to be honest with you, I remember the old hack back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Yes, I'm that old.
yeah.
Of everybody be like, well, if you got a little pinhole in the wall, like where you had a thumbtack, just rub a little toothpaste in it. Please don't do that.
Yeah.
Of
That sounds like it could color change on you too. Yeah.
it color changes, and then it chemically reacts with the stuff on the wall, and so there's a lot of shortcuts and hacks that I'm just gonna say, don't do.
Okay, but I want to say something provocative, Alan, and
All
I don't know
right.
if this will carry us through to the next step. But I am convinced from my own anecdotal evidence that the color-changing spackle is actually stronger than normal spackle. I don't know why. It feels heavier to me. It feels stronger. I'm just telling you. I like it. I even use color-changing wood filler, but I stand behind it. I think
I
it's
don't
great.
use it
I know
enough
you're
to
not a
argue
big.
with you. I don't argue. I can't argue the point. It might be just because the chemical process, you don't mess with it until you see the color change.
Right. But also, I wondered if the pigment in the color stuff could make it stronger. Is there any science that would back up my claim, or no?
I'm going to say it's more the time that you let it cure all the way because of the color.
Okay. I don't know. Folks, if you're out there and you've got any strong opinions about color-changing spackle, I was hoping to trigger Alan a little more than I did.
Spackle's got its use when you're on a ladder and you're trying to get done fast.
Okay.
It'll take care of that small hole.
All right. Hey, you're listening to Tool Talk Radio. We're here live at the Cooper Young Festival. Come on down and see us. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Tool Talk Radio with Joe and Allan.
When my new apprentice arrives, he will take care of you.
News Talk 98.9, The Roar of Memphis.
That's good to know, Al. I got a good feeling about that guy. I'm sure he's
Absolutely.
going to take
He's gonna
care
go
of everything.
far.
Yeah. No question about that. And welcome back to Tool Talk Radio, coming to you from the Brown Refrigeration Studios. I'm Joe Thorderson with Thor's Hammer, Carpentry and Wood Turning, here with my buddy Allan Gilbreth from darkoakmedia.com and our pal Max over there behind the glass. And if you're wondering what that sound was back there, if you're wondering what that ambiance is behind us, we're broadcasting once again from the whatever annual Cooper Young Festival this is. I keep forgetting to look it up, but it's mid-30s Cooper Young Festival. We're right at the corner of Cooper and Young. We're about 10 feet away from that gazebo that you would recognize. It's a lot of fun. It is perfect weather. I mean, everybody looks like they're in a great mood. I can't wait to go check out some of these vendors now. It is really a world-class shopping experience coming here, and it's just a lot of fun. There's a great energy, and I have to be honest, I'm glad that the music hasn't started yet, because it gets a little loud when you're trying to broadcast. So, but if you want to weigh in, there's quite a few items on the table, including the fact that today is International Batman Day. I'm sort of surprised that Agent 732 hasn't weighed in, or somebody. I mean, there's got to be other Batman fans out there besides us.
Just
Alan.
you, Joe.
We should have just done Gotham City for great moments in building history again.
Well, we did that before.
That's why I
Max,
said
and-
again.
Yeah. By the way, I was a little distracted earlier, Alan, because we had technical issues. I didn't even tease the fact that coming up in the second hour of our show, in our great moments in building history, in honor of our friends from Brussels Bonsai, this is cool, Alan. It is the world's largest greenhouse. It's in the UK.
Yep.
It's called the Eden Project.
It's in
and
Cornwall.
Cornwall. Well, that's Great Britain, right? What did I say?
Yes.
I
Max
just felt like
just
being
likes to distract.
specific.
Okay, whatever. It's in Cornwall. So, but it's in the UK, and this place is impressive. And so we're going to talk about that. It is really cool. It's a very interesting project. So if you want to get involved in the conversation, you can call or text us at the Big M Roofing and Remodeling Hotline at 901-683-0989. We also invite you to watch an encore episode of Tool Talk Radio on the Royal Retreat studio cams if you scoot on over to the News Talk 98.9 The Roar Facebook page. We still encourage you to like and share the Tool Talk Radio Facebook page, but I got to be honest, Alan, I haven't done much posting there this morning because I'm conserving my phone battery. We have some electrical challenges, so.
Well, we are getting those resolved.
And the second hour of the show, we're excited to welcome our friends, like we said, from Brussels, Bonsai, Terra Miller, the general manager, and Terry Stamps, who's the production manager, who's going to be coming in. So, Alan, I wanted, both you and I are carpenters.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to just make an observation, and really maybe, I don't know if this is a call to action, but it's just, how about a carpenter testimonial? How's that?
Okay.
This week, both of us were working outside.
We were.
Doing carpentry. I was building a deck. You were building an outdoor libation station. And I got to tell you, for several things. It was one of them. It was a very relaxing experience for me. No stress. I mean, I wear shorts and T-shirts to work. I mean, for one thing.
True.
You get exercise.
You do.
You get fresh air. You're using a skill that is very valuable to people. People pay you pretty well to do this work. And we are facing in this country a national carpenter shortage, and I really don't know why that is. I've been a carpenter for 30 years. I go to work, and it doesn't even feel like work every day. You know, there's days where it's hotter than others. There's days that are challenging, but I really hope more people will consider getting into carpentry. It's just, I love it. I love working with and it's very rewarding when you've built something with your own hands and you step back and the customers are satisfied, you've done well. And, I mean, the health benefits are there. I almost never get sick.
Well, that's true.
So
that's true.
What do you think, Alan? We really got to get more carpenters in this world.
Well, a kind of a little odd side gig that I've had for years and years and years is taking people to the big box store.
Yeah, I don't know how you keep getting paid for that.
It's a Saturday afternoon gig, and basically I get paid to be your answer man as you just inherited grandma's house.
Right.
Or you just bought your first home, or any number of things have happened, and now suddenly you're responsible for a house.
Right.
Well, if you've never done this stuff before, well, it's like the spray paint aisle, or you walk down the sealant aisle.
Yeah.
There are honestly hundreds of choices for 100 different uses. So it's very confusing to a person that's never done this before to pick what am I supposed to be using. And, one of my favorite ones was an aerobics instructor that never mowed a yard before.
What does this have to do with carpentry, though?
But, well, it does, because when you take somebody down there and you show them, okay, let me explain what a plunge router does.
Okay.
Let me show you how circle saws work.
Right.
You're not just showing off that you know how to do something. You are honestly totally empowering somebody to take control of their home, their yard, their life.
Yeah.
It is massive. I love walking over and saying, all right, you want to put in, I've got a client coming up in about 2 weeks where we're going to build a lean-to shed.
Uh-huh.
And she wants to do it.
Right.
So I'm going to draw it out for her. I'm going to give her a list of the stuff to go buy. But she and I are going to build this thing together.
Right.
So all of those skills, the shopping at a big box, knowing what the stuff is, and I'm going to say the bravery to grab hold of a circle saw and put it to use.
Okay.
It's empowering.
I like the word empowering that you're using, because that is another thing. And okay, I think I see in a roundabout way what you're getting at. Because, when you're doing carpentry, you're not just doing – it's not like the carpenter only does woodworking.
Right.
You're doing several things. You're probably working with concrete. You're probably working with sheetrock. Like
yes.
All sorts of ancillary skills come out of that. You quite a few things, and it does boost your confidence. There is
Oh,
something to be
yes.
said for that, because sometimes, you know, a project like that can be daunting for someone. So I will say, in terms of building self-confidence, in terms of the health benefits, there's just a lot of great reasons. And personally, I know, you know, not everybody, we're all cut from different cloths, but basically, I would hate to have to wear a suit to work every day. I enjoy the fact that I wear basically T-shirts and, you know, comfortable clothes while I'm working.
Well, it is, and the carpentry skills are very freeing,
Right.
because now you look at minor projects around the home,
Right.
and they're not so daunting anymore.
No.
Or at least you're an informed consumer.
Right.
If you don't want to do it yourself, at least you know what needs to be done, and you can effectively describe the work you actually want.
Yeah. But it just occurred to me this week. This week, really, it resonated with me, because I was doing this deck. Really, I barely gave it any thought. I mean, I'm just doing it almost out of instinct. I'm sitting there listening to podcasts, and music. I'm getting fresh air. I'm enjoying it, and then it occurred. You know, you step back, and it's like, wait, I just built a deck right here, and it's like, it's very satisfying. I enjoy it a lot, man. So.
Well, this client's been freaking out over needing this little shed for a couple of years.
Right.
And of course, she's describing to me what she wants, and in my head, I'm going, okay, that's one trip with the truck.
Yeah.
You know, we can knock this out in about 4 hours.
Yeah.
And she's just like, I have no idea even where to start. And I'm like, don't worry, it is a lot easier than you think it is.
It is. It's the initial getting started thing. I think that's always the whole thing is getting started, and really just taking that leap of faith. Because the first, you know, when you nail that, or when you attach that first beam to your house to saying, okay, well, we're doing it. This is the game on.
It's kind of
scary,
having the
but it's also
audacity to
exciting.
do it.
Right.
It just sometimes it's like, well, I want a fire pit.
Right.
Okay, well, what does that got to do with being a carpenter? Well, it's all the laying out, measuring, and figuring out where can I put this. Is it going to be in the way?
Right.
Or is it going to be a great feature that I want to keep?
Yeah. The other thing is all the resources. When back in our day, Allan, when we were learning carpentry and the trades, you didn't have a smartphone that would, you know, calculate all your materials for you. You didn't have YouTube available where you could just say, you know what, I need to go check. How often do we use, you know, YouTube and everything? So it's just, we got so many resources. There's no reason not to get involved. So.
And it's, once again, I'm going to go back to a word I've overused this segment, and that is empowered.
Absolutely.
When you are no longer intimidated by the project,
Right.
it takes on a different scope. And again, whether or not you want to do it yourself, now you're informed.
And you'll also walk taller, and you'll stay healthy. All right, hey, hour one is in the can, Allan. I don't know where it went, but hour two is coming up. We're broadcasting live from the Cooper Young Festival, and when we come back, we're going to visit with our friends from Brussels Bonsai.
News Talk 98.9, the roar of Memphis. Tool Talk Radio with Joe and Allan.
And welcome to Hour 2 of Tool Talk Radio, coming to you from the Brown Refrigeration Studios. I'm Joe Thorderson with Thor's Hammer, Carpentry and Wood Turning, here with my buddy Allan Gilbreth with DarkOakMedia.com, and our pal Max back at the studio, no doubt, with a donut in his hand and kicking his feet up, I'm sure.
I bet he ain't eating a donut.
He's not eating a donut, a gluten-free maybe.
A banana.
But, yeah,
Got a banana.
Enjoying the solitude. Yes, we're here once again at the Cooper Young Festival in this glorious day. It is beautiful. It is. I mean, you could not have asked for better weather. We're right at the corner of Cooper and Young, about 10 feet away from the gazebo. And once the show's over, we hope you'll drop by the booth and say hello and pick up some Tool Talk Radio swag and some News Talk 98.9 The Roar swag. I'm really digging this bottle opener / flashlight, Allan. It's one of the
cool.
/ keychain. It's one of those kind of things. Everybody's going to snatch these up. I'm telling you,
yeah.
It's super practical and it's a lot of fun. If you want to get in touch with us, this is a great time to do it, especially if you've got questions about plants, because we're about to dig deep into that.
Oh,
Allan.
yeah.
You can call or text us at the Big M Roofing and Remodeling Hotline at 901-683-9999. 0989. And we also invite you to watch encore episodes of Tool Talk Radio on the Royal Retreat studio cams at the News Talk 98.9 The Roar Facebook page, and also to visit the Tool Talk Radio Facebook page, like and share the page, and check out the action over there. So, hey, Allan, it's time to welcome our guests. We've got Terra Miller, who is the general manager of Brussels Bonsai, and Terry Stamps, you're the production manager. And hey, welcome to Tool Talk Radio. We threw you right into the fire, a live remote.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
Y'all are great. So, Terra, I want to say, for one thing, it's funny to me that your name's Terra and you work with.
I get that a lot.
Do you?
I do.
You didn't change your name for your career?
I did not. It has always been Terra.
Well, Terra, you approached the, like I said, this year, the Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention. We're partnered up with all the Cumulus stations out here. We're offering unique sponsorship opportunities to sponsor, or, to promote your business at the convention. And you thought, you know what, we're going to promote our bonsai business at the convention. We're excited to have you, but,
we're excited to do it. It's the first that we've done, so we're excited to be outside of the nursery, show people what we have going on and what we have to offer to the city.
Well, and you brought some plants with you today. And Allan, you my only beef with you, sir, is you're a customer of theirs. You've been doing bonsais even before the Karate Kid, but you totally undersold their space. I mean, Terra, this place is unbelievable. It's, 10 acres?
Yeah, so we have quite a few acreage of land to do so. We're 28 greenhouses end-to-end of bonsai. We have 2 different categories, indoor and outdoor bonsai, and then we have a display house where you see some world-class, top-of-the-line bonsai that you will never see anywhere else.
Do we need to explain what a bonsai tree is? I mean, you never know.
Let's not assume. And the art of bonsai is basically bringing the eternal world of nature inside.
Hey, Max
it's kind of the idea.
Max
and I know we're going to unleash the Max on them in just a second.
You unleash the Max because the Japanese word for bonsai actually translates to tray planting.
Yeah. We forgot to tell you, Max is fluent in Japanese. So and he owns a bonsai named Soshiro. What is it?
Soshiro. It means the white monk.
Yeah, Soshiro, the white monk. Yes.
Okay.
So basically, picture, if you will, of taking. It's basically the idea of taking a tree or shrub or something in that line, and cultivating it and designing it and shaping it to produce a certain landscape effect. How'd I do?
Okay.
Tara's nodding her head going, oh, okay, I think he's got this, yeah.
Bonsai is the art of taking a tree from the nature and bringing it home, basically. You're trying to bring nature to home. You want to be able to sit there and enjoy the trees that you've made that are similar to the ones that you might see in the mountain or see in the desert, many other places.
There's a lot of pruning involved, too, though. Well, I mean, you're shaping the tree, right?
You are. Naturally, most trees either want to grow into a bush, just branches everywhere, or straight up like these oak trees. So everything we do is we're making the contrived movements. We're using things like bonsai wire, which is used to force the branches to go in a position that we want them to be in, not what they're trying to do.
Right.
But in a sense, you're trying to mimic nature while you're doing that.
All right, let's start with the tray, because that is actually the secret to this. This isn't you went out in the backyard, found a bush, and dug it up and stuck it in a pot.
Right.
That is not what happens.
Right. That's not a finished bonsai. That's one that's on its way, but truly it's really not going to be a bonsai until it's entered a bonsai pot or a container that is made to mimic nature in some way. There's lots of rocks that are used or ceramic containers that are designed to look like rocks. So, the pot of it can be a little bit different, but it does need to be contemporary together.
Hey, Terra, when I went in there to visit, like I said, Allan didn't prepare me for the experience at all. This was, I want to say, okay, so we, roughly, 10 acres of property, but I would say 4 or 5 acres literally is enclosed space with all these bonsai. So you ship, this is the country's biggest bonsai.
Yes, we are the world's largest.
Okay, that's cool. So, I mean, but I asked you about it. I said, well, shipping a plant, that sounds pretty, it's delicate, right?
It is delicate. We have formulated I guess, a process that will allow the that the tree to arrive safely.
Yeah.
And that it would arrive with less damage. We put a lot of thought process in how we actually package these. They're individually picked out for the customer, so it's not a machine doing all of this. We do this hands-on.
I'm curious, what country, is there a country that orders more bonsai than any others, or are there surprising countries that order?
So we ship only in the continental U.S.
Okay, gotcha.
Shipping out of here, there's a lot of agricultural, issues you got to get across. Even in state, like in the United States, we have trouble with shipping junipers like this to California. That's a no-go. There's lots of rules for other states, especially big agricultural states.
Mm-hmm.
We work a lot with the Mississippi Department of Agriculture, making sure that we're in check with everything we need to be doing. Because again, we're a big nursery, so I'm faced with all the problems as a normal nursery would face when it comes to pest management and things like that.
Yeah. Are there bonsai addicts? Do people just?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I could see how addicting this could become.
Yeah,
because it looks fun.
Me and Brussel just returned from the 8th National Bonsai exhibition in Rochester, New York. And it was my first time making it, and I was blown away. And I've been doing this for almost 20 years now, half my life. And I was blown away by the trees that they had there.
There's a lot of bonsai enthusiasts. Hey, before we go to break, Terra, how do people visit Brussels Bonsai?
So you can actually visit our location at 8125 Central Hill Road, Monday through Friday, 8 to 4. Or you can visit us online at brusselsbonsai.com.
Awesome. Yeah, we're excited, and we're excited that you're going to be doing actual workshops at the convention, and you've got some events that we're going to mention when we come back, because you're going to be all around town, aren't you?
That's correct.
It's a lot of fun. We're super excited about being partnered up with you, and these bonsais are cool. I think I need to get a few of these, Allan.
I've seen your gardening ability. We'll talk.
Are these
gotta start
foolproof?
somewhere?
Are these something if you don't have a green thumb, you can still
Yes,
start small.
Definitely.
Okay. All right. Well, that sounds cool. So I think I hear the music, Allan. I can't
You do.
tell. All right. We're going to take a quick break. It's weird. It's live radio, baby.
Mm-hmm.
We're here at Cooper Young Festival. You're listening to Tool Talk Radio. We're going to take a quick break.
Tool Talk Radio with Joe and Allan.
You have no skills and you're a loser!
News Talk 98.9, the roar of Memphis.
Yeah, one of Allan's motivational techniques. Allan. That's why you can't retain carpenters. I treat them nice.
Oh,
Okay.
well, I treat them better than that.
And welcome back to Tool Talk Radio, coming to you from the Brown Refrigeration Studios. I'm Joe Thorderson with Thor's Hammer, Carpentry and Wood Turning. Here with my buddy Allan Gilbreth from Dark Oak Media and our pal Max back at the studio because, if you can hear, we are broadcasting live once again from the Cooper Young Festival. We're at the corner of Cooper and Young. Drop by and say hello. Just wait an hour to do it because we're trying to work here. So, also go watch encore episodes of the. Oh wait, you can call or text us at the Big M Roofing and Remodeling Hotline at 901-683-0989. We also invite you to go watch encore episodes of Tool Talk Radio at the Royal Retreat Studio Cams at the News Talk 98.9 The Roar Facebook page. Also, drop by the Tool Talk Radio Facebook page, like and share the page, and check out all the action over there. Well, if you're just tuning in, we're visiting here with our friends Terra Miller and Terry Stamps from Brussels Bonsai, and we have a very good reason because we're going to be partnered up with you at the Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention coming up November 10th through 12th. You can actually get your tickets now at memphiscfc.com. But bonsais are cool, and we're learning a little bit about what they actually are. I guess we're going to learn a few techniques. But before we get to that, you're really trying to reach out to the community a lot more. You've got a lot of community events that you're doing, including ours. So for people that want to see you in person, if they want to meet you, give us a list kind of where you're going to be.
So on Tuesday, we'll be at the South Haven Public Library for their garden club to do a workshop there, and that's at 10 a.m. Again,
Okay.
at South Haven Public Library. And then on Saturday, we have our autumn open house. We're only open 2 Saturdays a year, so that's the second one of the year. So we are open, like I said, to the public from 8 to 4. We'll have everything is on sale at the nursery, 20% off, regardless of what part of the
Really?
of the process that you're needing. We do have some workshops during this time. We have a repotting for indoor and outdoor plants, and we also have some wiring for indoor and outdoor trees. And then during that same time, we have a lot of extra discounted items that we're going to be giving, as that's going to be on display as well. That you can get something to really start with for a beginner that doesn't have to be too expensive. That they can start off there. We also will have a raffle for different bonsai, and we're actually giving away a small juniper for anyone who wants to start. There's a very starting process for them, and we're going to have a workshop to continue to help them along the process.
It's cool. I mean, and so are the plants that you specialize in all for the interior of your home, or do you have things for the outside as well?
No. So bonsai, you have two categories: indoor and outdoor trees. Indoor trees are going to be trees that come from tropical areas that cannot take the cold. They love to be outdoors. They just can't handle the winter. Whereas our outdoor trees, they got to remain outside year round. Some may need more protection in the wintertime, like in a garage or something down here, but they stay out in the cold year round to go through the whole process.
It's really interesting. So I mean, and then also there's a lot of different price points, isn't there?
Oh yes.
I mean, there's probably bonsai for every.
We try to be the place where anyone that's into bonsai can get a tree from us, from the very beginning to the guy that has the $1 million collection can come find something from us as well. We try to offer the full spectrum of everything.
Would you say it's true that this is kind of an art form? Because I mean,
oh yes, it's a dangerous art form, because you get into it, and it's like other hobbies that can be very expensive, and you can lose the whole thing in a blink of an eye if you do something wrong, or if something
you make the wrong cut.
Well, it is both a delicate and wonderful art form. However, with the right bonsai, like a juniper, this is a great entry point for a person that perhaps doesn't know anything about them.
Yes.
Because, like, the junipers are good, sturdy.
Can handle
they can handle some abuse.
Mm-hmm.
And if you forgot to water them today, you can get it tomorrow, kind of thing. So there are some bonsais that are truly for the professional. And there are others like the juniper, which is what I'm going to suggest for Joe to start off with, because he's never had one before.
Right.
And they are truly beautiful.
Right.
And the thing that will really get people going is when they figure out that, that new little apple tree you just bought at the big box store can be bonsai'd and controlled, and you can create a really cool-looking tree in the front yard.
That is very true.
Yeah, he's nodding. He knows what I'm talking about there. You get in with the limb bracing and separators, and you can, once you've done it, there's no stopping you. Every time you look at one, you're going, oh, I want to, I can do
or
this.
you travel the city, and everywhere you're looking at the bushes that are planted and the stuff that's in people's, flower beds. Wow,
right.
Look at that tree, and you notice different things. Once you get into bonsai, you really start noticing a lot about nature.
Hey, Terra, something Terry said made me think of something. Is it true? Because I'm looking at the plants here and everything. You said that one wrong snip could actually kill. Is this? I'm feeling like it kind of reminds me of like the human body, with like some artery. If you cut your arm, big deal. If you cut the wrong artery, that's devastating. Is it the same with the?
So when it comes to bonsai, because they're considered indoor and outdoor trees, there's a certain part of the year in which you should be doing this cutting and trimming. It's not something that you have to do constantly. Right. You have to be conscious of the growing season and when they're coming out of a dormancy in order to know when to cut. So it's not something that you would do, like I said, every month, every day along the way. Before coming to the nursery, I had no plants at all. No plants, no trees or anything in my yard or in my home until I started working at the nursery. And it doesn't take long to get hooked. Mm-hmm. And I think I'm like 12 trees in already just for the indoor. But I'm the one most of mine are inside because I'm in the house most of the time. I like to see what's going on. I'm more that kind of person.
Is there any scent? Are there any scented trees that you sell? I don't smell anything with
the gardenia. We sell gardenias, and they are very fragrant. We have some little orange trees that have a really nice citrus smell. several of the trees, the foliage just itself smells. Juniper is not one of the favorites of most people. A lot of people don't like the smell of junipers, but
so that's an outdoor
Very
deal.
woodsy.
But pine tree has a really good smell. I was just working on pine trees all day yesterday, and I really love the smell of a pine tree.
I mean, there's something about that. If you get the right fragrance in the house, I don't know. Everything about it looks very relaxing.
Now, one of my favorite evergreens is to bonsai up rosemaries.
Yeah, we used to
And
do
those
rosemary.
are very fragrant.
I love rosemary.
Yeah, we did rosemary for a long time. They're just a hard plant to keep at the nursery because they're very fungus prone.
Okay.
And so we do overhead watering because we're so large. Everything's watered automatically, so it makes it a little more difficult for some plants.
So when people come in, really, you need to kind of maybe educate some people because you might, and do you kind of get like a consultation, like tell us about the space it's going in, so you can help make the right choice, or.
Well, we give everyone that purchases a tree just a basic proper care for that type of either indoor or outdoor tree. And if you walk in, we kind of talk to you and say, well, hey, where are you keeping this at, or where do you have to keep it at? Because sometimes you want to put a tree where it's not going to make it. Right. The amount of customers that we get that even though the text is outdoor, they're just not realizing that means it has to stay outdoors. So we try to educate people along the way.
It's cool. It's very what is it, zen when you go in there.
Yes.
It's great. It's just I could see people probably hanging out there half the day,
we
walking
have
in and
people
relaxing.
that walk in all the time and go, I never knew that you could even walk into this place. And
Right.
I've been driving past here for 20 years going to work,
Right.
and
And you do have some people that do visit and end up just sitting down in the inside once they walk. They'll do it a couple times. They'll take it a little bit take in a moment at a time.
It's neat. It's a combination of just nature and art. So
Oh, yes.
And I'm excited about what you all be doing. So what are you going to be doing at the Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention? Because you'll be set up in a booth, and then you're going to do a
Yeah, so
workshop.
we're going to actually sell some of our bonsai there, so we can get people again excited and educated about bonsai and where we are, since we're so centrally located to right outside of Memphis. And we'll also be doing a workshop. Terry and maybe Chris, our other production manager, assistant production manager, will be there to do a workshop and answer some Q&A.
Yeah, it's cool. So make sure you get to the Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention. It's going to be November 10th through 12th at the University of Memphis Holiday Inn. It's a bigger venue than we have. We're excited. We're getting back to our larger size venue. We also have some great celebrity guests. We have a lot going on. You guys are going to be geeking out all weekend. And we're excited about the workshops, too, because I feel like there's a good crossover, Alan. I think geeks are going to dig bonsai.
Oh, this is a marriage made in heaven, trust me.
So
a lot of people, the bonsai idea is also great for people that live in apartments.
Mm-hmm.
You want some nature, but you don't want,
a yard.
You don't have a yard. You
Yeah.
don't, the window box isn't going to quite get it. This is truly an amazing thing. And if you actually get into the art of making the bonsai, that's where you really get into your full zen of shaping, training, and growing and seeing what you get.
Yep, it's a very calming hobby.
It is.
Absolutely. Hey, once again, tell people how to visit Brussels Bonsai.
So again, you can visit at the actual location at 8125 Center Hill Road in Olive Branch from 8 to 4 Monday through Friday. Or you can visit us online at brusselsbonsai.com.
I would say, too, don't go there if you're in a hurry.
No.
Right? I mean, you're going to want to explore. Anyway, hey, we're here at the Cooper Young Festival. It's great having you all here with us. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, too, it is time to get to our great moments in building history, talking about the Eden Project.
Tool Talk Radio with Joe and Allan. News Talk 98.9, the roar of Memphis.
Yeah,
I've
that's
worked
why
with him.
you always got to anchor your ladders out there, folks. for sure.
Yeah.
And welcome back to Tool Talk Radio, coming to you from the Brown Refrigeration Studios. I'm Joe Thorderson with Thor's Hammer, Carpentry and Wood Turning, here with my buddy Alan Gilbreth from darkoakmedia.com and our pal Max back at the studio. And I say that because if you're just tuning in, we're broadcasting live once again from the Cooper Young Festival. What a great day. It's a You could not have ordered better weather.
And it's
The
National
crowds are
Batman
starting to come
Day.
in. Well, I was going to get to that, Max. Okay, boy, Max just loves to interrupt. So, okay. And as Max indicated, it is International Batman Day, which is one of my favorite days of the year, Alan. I mean, I can't wait to celebrate. I will say my all-time favorite Batman movie is Matt Reeves' The Batman. Great, awesome movie. Don't watch it with your kids. It's kind of violent.
My all-time favorite's when the movie's over, but it's all right.
Whatever, Alan. So, anyway, if you want to weigh in on any of this, you can call or text us at the Big M Roofing and Remodeling Hotline at 901-683-0989. We also invite you to watch encore episodes of Tool Talk Radio on the Royal Retreat studio cams because we don't have them turned on today, Alan. That's a little too much of a technical challenge trying to bring. We're lucky we got electricity.
And we are happy we do.
When you're at a festival, it's survival mode. So, which is why I've been a little disjointed today. I have to say, volumes change, things, whatever. But we're making it happen, and it's live radio. So, also, you can scoot on over to the Tool Talk Radio Facebook page and give us a like and check out the action over there. And we were visiting earlier with our friends Terra Miller and Terry Stamps from Brussels Bonsai, who are sponsors of the Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention, and great people. That is a very impressive operation you all have over there. So we're going to be we'll be talking about that a little later in the show as well. But we're in a minute we're going to get to our great moments in building history, and it's a location we chose in your honor, Terra. It's all about plant. It's the world's biggest greenhouse. It's called the Eden Project, and it's over in Great Britain. But before we get to that, you know who I'm very curious how he's celebrating the International Batman Day is our good buddy Jay Hill with Big M Roofing and Remodeling. Talk about a guy that would be totally clueless. He has no,
But he has the best chance of knowing what it's like to hang on a rafter.
Yeah, he probably would. But our friend Jay Hill, he's a great guy, very dynamic personality, runs a great operation, but he has no geek blood in him at all. He wouldn't know Batman from the Green Lantern. I mean, he wouldn't know. But anyway, if you don't want to talk geek and you want to talk roofs and the exterior protection of your home, there's nobody better to call. That is Jay's specialty. He is all about roofing, gutters, siding, windows, basically from top to bottom, the exterior protection of your home. But we really lean heavily, especially after these storms. We think, the storms are old news. They happened, a month ago? Well, not for Jay.
Not for him.
He's still helping people get their roofs back in order, getting them replaced. And what's great about Big M Roofing and Remodeling is they are 5 stars with the Better Business Bureau. Jay is a GAF Master Elite Installer, and he works exclusively with GAF because they are the ultimate in cutting-edge technology when it comes to your roof, so much so that they offer roofing systems, and these systems are guaranteed for life, which I still don't really understand. You could buy a home, if you get your roof installed, you sell the home, that is a transferable warranty. You talk about a big selling feature to your, for your home, and also it helps lower your utility bills. You and I have a Big M roof on our homes, and I know my utility bills have gone down. It can even save you money on your homeowner's insurance. Having a great roof offers the peace of mind that you cannot put a price on. So anyway, Jay Hill, absolute master at his work, and also just a fun guy. Unless you want to talk superheroes, then he's useless. But Jay encourages you to get in touch with him directly. You can call him at 901-484-5645 or go to his website, bigamroofingandremodeling.com. All right, Max, let's hit it, man.
And now, great moments in building history.
All right, well, Terra and Terry, I don't know how much you researched it. I probably just threw them in the deep end on this. But in honor of your appearance today on Tool Talk Radio, we thought for our great moments in building history, I Googled what is the world's biggest greenhouse, because I didn't know. Maybe you knew, Alan, but
I did.
I discovered it. It is called the Eden Project. It was built, I think it was completed in 2003. I think they broke down 2001. Anyway,
completed May of 2000.
Oh, 2000. Okay.
Yep.
It's in Cornwall in Great Britain, which I don't know where Cornwall is, Alan. I'm sorry. But it is.
It's on that island.
It is. It's not just a greenhouse. Basically, what they did was there is a quarry that they it's kind of a big, ugly, empty quarry. They had basically mined just about the rest of it. They were, as they put it, they were scraping the bottom of the bowl. They had basically exhausted this quarry, but there was still some excavation going on. But this group thought this would be a really, instead of a big quarry, let's a big empty space. Why don't we put like basically a tribute to nature and really the world's largest greenhouse. And there's also all sorts of I've got the map here printed out, Alan. It is a big, it's got a zip line, but it's also got every kind, I want to say 1 million different plants there.
Yes.
Some of it's indoors, some of it's outdoors, but it's really an interesting project, and from a construction point of view as well. So here was their challenge as they're thinking about it. Okay, well, you have to have a greenhouse. Yeah,
yes.
Some plants can handle the inside, some can't. Well, as you're trying to, for one thing, they talked about, the architect said, well, when you're building a greenhouse, we like a nice, flat, stable surface. Well, this was as unflat as you could get. This was on basically a hill. If you can imagine a carved out, almost bowl shaped.
Well, yeah, it was a clay mine, and they basically hollowed this thing out. And so, you know, the advantage was this area had nothing in it at all. So, you know, the advantage was it had been run over by machinery, and see, they really didn't even have to get rid of weeds.
There was nothing.
It was really basically, from a dirt point of view, it was scorched earth. And a dear gentleman a long time back named Buckminster Fuller came with an idea called a buckyball.
Name.
It is. The buckyball was a mathematical theory that with the proper points, you could equally distribute stress.
Well,
and that is where you're going to get how these greenhouses were constructed.
What's interesting is, because I was really interested in the architecture of this, because for one thing, you had an architectural firm. They're trying to draw up plans as okay, 1 second, Max. As the landscape is so you know, it's you get your renderings. Here's the elevations. Here's this. Well, 3 weeks later, it's different because those bulldozers just excavated that hole. So you've got a shifting terrain. So go ahead, Max.
Oh, I was just going to say, with regards to architecture, the thing that intrigued me too is the fact that it was utilizing elements of nature. For example, like the Fibonacci sequence in sunflowers, they utilize that in the construction of one of their core buildings.
Oh yeah. Everything in there is it's supposed to mimic nature. Like the greenhouses, basically what they got their idea for the greenhouses is kind of along the lines of what Alan was saying. Soap bubbles. They observed that. Okay, let's suppose you have a big soap bubble in your hand, and you move your fingers or whatever. Well, the soap bubble keeps its shape.
Yes, it does.
It shifts. So the idea came along. They said, let's make the structures of these greenhouses a bubble shape, so that even if the excavation continues, we just adjust for that. And they use these hexagon panels. Now, Alan, this is where I need some help, because in the research I did, so these are glass panels because they have to get sunlight, but they're not glass. They said this is it's hollow. It's a flexible material that is 1% the weight of glass. You can lift up a 20-foot panel by hand yourself.
Yes.
And what's that all about? Because, I mean, these are ultra lightweight. And they're meant to be replaced. They're going to wear out over time.
Yes.
So it's meant for maintenance.
What
is this stuff?
Yeah, well, basically, let's take the idea of the geodesic dome, which is what these are. And you have these gargantuan panels. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, think about the scene in one of the Jurassic Park movies where the helicopter falls into the pterodactyl aviary. The aviary there that holds the dinosaurs in it, that is a geodesic dome. That's a good picture so you get an idea of it. And because of the way these put together, they're very modular, they're very adjustable. So basically, because the forces are spread out, you're limited by weight.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask you, because they said the weight of the dome is actually equal to the weight of the air inside of it, which made no sense to me. I'm like, so air weighs something?
Well, yes, it does, because basically what we're looking at here is what a substance that is nicknamed solidified smoke.
Okay.
It is.
You got
it
to
is-
explain that one.
It is basically spider web technology taken to glass.
But
So
it's not
it is-
glass. It's
but
1%.
it's more air than
Okay.
substance. But it has just enough substance to have rigidity.
Okay, gotcha.
So we're looking at serious. Take fiberglass technology and make it nano.
It's like cheap ice cream.
It's like what?
Cheap ice cream, just full of air.
Well, exactly. And it is as full of air as it can get and still have strength.
Yeah. So, hey Terry, if you were involved in that, because you're for Brussels Bonsai, you are a production manager, which means you more or less your job is to keep things working, right? You're
Correct.
Like we said, you're the Scott. If this was the Starship Enterprise, you're Scotty.
Right.
Okay. So, what sort of challenges do you see with a setup like it? I mean, like we said, 1 million plants. Some of them, they've created an indoor rainforest.
You're right. It's the largest indoor rainforest on Earth. And I'm sure that they would have all the same issues as a regular nursery. Insects sense plants, and they make it to it. It don't matter how far away they are. They can come in on people, so I'm sure there's always some kind of pest issue.
It's a good
Pest
place
pressure.
let's discuss that. So, because it's not all sunshine and daisies over at the
Oh,
Eden
no.
Project. They got a lot of challenges, and we're going to discuss that when we come back here on Tool Talk Radio.
Tool Talk Radio with Joe and Allan.
We have radon coming from below. We have asbestos in the ceilings. These are silent killers.
You are the silent killer.
News Talk 98.9, the roar of Memphis.
I mean, I can't disagree. The guy's got a negative attitude. He brings everybody down. And well spoken, Michael Scott. And welcome back to Tool Talk Radio, coming to you from the Brown Refrigeration Studios. I'm Joe Thorderson with Thor's Hammer, Carpentry and Wood Turning, here with my buddy Allan Gilbreth from darkoakmedia.com and our pal Max over there behind the glass. You can call or text us at the Big M Roofing and Remodeling Hotline at 901-683-0989. We also invite you to go to the News Talk 98.9 The Roar Facebook page. I think Ditch has posted some pictures of what we're doing.
He has.
There. We don't have the Royal Retreat studio cams activated, but that's still images of what it looks like. We're here at the Cooper Young Festival. We're right at the corner of Cooper and Young. We're hanging out with our friends Terra Miller and Terry Stamps from Brussels Bonsai. We were talking a little bonsai earlier. It's kind of fun.
Absolutely.
And in their honor, in our Great Moments in Building History, we've been talking about the Eden Project, which is in Cornwall, what is it? Is it Cornwall, England, or Great Britain?
It's Cornwall. We go with Great Britain.
Okay. Basically, they converted an empty quarry into they call it the world's largest greenhouse, but as we're talking about, it's 3 greenhouses, 2 of the main ones, but also they have indoor and outdoor plants. They have 1 million plants. And Terry, before the break, we were talking about some of the challenges involved. And earlier in the show, you were talking about Brussels Bonsai, where you ship everywhere in the United States, but then you talked about there's some states you can't ship to because you can't be mixing plants together. It doesn't cooperate.
A lot of times it's either like plant pathogens or insect that can't cross lines, or this area of the country we're in a fire ant.
Right.
So we have to have a special license to ship out of here because we might have fire ants. So there's another special label that we have to put on.
Yeah, because I know you can't just mix, because I'm looking at the map here. I printed a map of the Eden Project. So over here they have the rainforest. They basically have an indoor rainforest. You go over here, it's the Mediterranean biome. They have really plants from all around the world. How do you let those coexist? And that sounds like a major challenge. They have 1 million plants at this place.
Yeah, and I'm guessing that's why they keep them mostly grouped in those large areas. So that because the water is going to be one of the big pressures. In a jungle, you're going to have a lot more water than you're going to have in the Mediterranean. And then I think maybe even they had a desert area, which is going to be totally separate.
Right.
But then even with those large domes, a lot of that stuff, I think, is just naturally rewatered because everything's kept in there for the most part. A lot of that's natural, and I'd imagine so even over there in the UK where it's a little bit milder of a climate than say here.
It looks like a major challenge. Architecturally, it was a challenge because they're building on a.
I can't imagine.
It's really a marvel. It's cool. It's a great rabbit hole to go down on YouTube. Allan. I really enjoyed it, and there's not a lot of down. You know how sometimes when we do our great moments in building history, there's like the upside, and then there's sort of the dark history of all the negative impacts of whatever it was. This one seems pretty positive. I mean, they have field trips. It's educational. You feel good when you go there. Seems like it's a win-win.
I'm going to do a quick throwback to our talk earlier about carpentry.
Yeah.
Because when you build places like this, I'll even pick on your greenhouses, where your walkways are, where the handrails are, all of these things have a dramatic impact on the ergonomics and enjoyability of your area.
If the roadways at the nursery would have been 2 foot wider, I just need 2 more feet. It would be a game changer, truthfully. Yeah.
Terra, you rolled your eyes a little bit. Do you hear that a lot, or
only from those guys? I usually walk the nursery. They usually drive the nursery.
Oh, okay. So you need the wider road. It's a lot of stuff, and don't forget, this gets millions of visitors a year.
Yes.
Which blows my mind. I mean,
that itself would be a challenge, and all the people coming through, touching things, and maybe bringing stuff in from their garden that rode on their sock, and
See, that's what I wondered, because I'm like, okay, you go to the rainforest biome, and then you walk over to the Mediterranean. There's got to be a lot of cross contamination that happens. So
yeah,
I just wonder. It's a fascinating thing. I wonder what.
Well, that's where you get sneaky, and you put in antimicrobial flooring.
Oh.
So that you don't tell people that we're sanitizing your shoes. But you are sanitizing their shoes. You do have antimicrobial floor mats. You steal from other industries. Because in the kitchen and food industry, we have a lot of antimicrobial products that apply very easily to walkways, transition areas, areas where the public is going to be coming in. And like you said, the public doesn't understand just how dirty they really are. Because, especially when you get into agriculture, people see the news and go, all right, why is everybody freaking out about some kind of fly? It's a bug. Why am I worried about this? Well, that's because that bug is going to eat all of your mangoes.
Right.
And you don't want the mango-eating bug loose in your, especially greenhouses, biomes, and that kind of stuff.
And truthfully, typically the worst insects are ones that are very difficult to see.
Yes.
The things I'm dealing with at the nursery are things like spider mites and thrips, and both you got to put them on a white sheet of piece of paper and hope that you can still see them.
Yeah, it sounds like a real challenge, but it's going well. You said it opened in 2000, Allan, and it's still going strong.
It is.
It's a really cool. They even have concerts there. It
Yes.
looks great. It's definitely, if you're going to Great Britain, it seems like a must-have. Go to Stonehenge, then head over to the Eden Project and check all of it out. It's really interesting. I would strongly encourage you to get on YouTube and go down that rabbit hole. It's a lot of fun. We barely scratch the surface because
that's true.
But the architecture of it is fascinating. So hey, before we get out of here, I want to circle back and talk more about Brussels Bonsai and what you're doing over there, because you're going to be at a lot of events. Did we mention the Japan Festival?
No, so we will be at the Japan Fest November 5th, Sunday, November 5th at the Memphis Botanic Garden.
Now
that's always a great event. We've been doing it with our Memphis Bonsai Society. We also have a Bonsai Society here in Memphis. We've been putting on a booth there for maybe the last 4 or 5 Japan since they restarted it, basically.
Right.
And we always have a lot of people come through the booth, and we often have stuff that we're either giving away or selling sometimes. We have really nice show trees that'll be set up in display style. I typically do 1 to 2 workshop demos during the day. So there's plus all the other things that they have going on there. It's a really great event.
I think the Botanic Gardens is another hidden treasure. It's
It's
easy
amazing.
to drive past there and not, but if you take the time to go through and check it out,
It's a really cool
Right, it
place.
is really nice.
Yeah.
And you'll have things for sale. Are you going to have things for sale at the Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention?
We are. We're going to have something for sale for both.
Okay, cool. And like you said, they're priced all over the place. But the open house, it is called, it's your Autumn Fest, or what is it, Autumn Festival?
Autumn Open House.
Autumn Open House. So you're not open on Saturdays?
No, we're only open 2 Saturdays a year, and this is the second one, so this is the last of the year that we'll be open.
Wait, what date is that? Did we give the date?
It is September the 23rd, next Saturday from 8 to 4.
All right, so we know where Allan will be next Saturday. So, okay. It's a lot of fun. And for people that are just tuning in, give them, once again, how do they get in touch? How do they visit?
Our physical location is 8125 Center Hill Road in Olive Branch, or you can visit us online at brusselsbonsai.com.
Okay.
Or check us out on Facebook. We're constantly posting stuff. We try to stay on top of that, putting out things we might be doing at the nursery or the things that might be new.
Hey, I got a question for you. Do bonsais make good gifts? It's kind of like giving. The way I'm wondering is, what is it like if you give somebody a puppy? It might be cute, but that is not a good gift to give.
The only thing I really try to keep people from doing is getting them for a gift for someone that has passed away. Because it's a living thing. You don't want to give somebody a living thing and then they take care of it, and now they're looking at this thing.
Don't hand over a burden.
Right.
Do you ever get girlfriends that give their boyfriend or wives that give their husband as a way to test whether they're capable of nurturing a living?
Yes, we've seen that.
I think they have a class on that.
Yeah,
if you kill the tree, you might want to think about the puppy really hard. Yeah.
Right. No, it's a good way to test the water.
It's just like having an animal or a child. There's daily care, especially in the summertime. Not so much in the wintertime, but summertime with the summers that we have around here, it's a lot to keep them going and keep them healthy.
What is the most interesting shape, or what is the most interesting, I don't know what, that you've ever seen anybody shape a bonsai into? Like that?
So junipers make some of the best bonsai, especially ones that are collected. America has some of the best juniper bonsai in the world. There's people shipping them to other countries.
Awesome. Well, hey, it's great having you here. We're looking forward to seeing you at the Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention.
Yeah, can't wait.
Check out Brussels Bonsai, but we got to get out of here, Allan.
We do.
The music. This has been another action-packed episode of Tool Talk Radio. So on behalf of my buddy Allan Gilbreth, our pal Max over there behind the glass, Terra and Terry at Brussels Bonsai, I'm Joe Thorderson. Thanks for listening to Tool Talk Radio, and we'll see you next week.